Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV. We kept a clean sheet. Bernard, how you doing, mate?
Hey, yeah, you said so, mate. You got the score right, didn't you?
I got the score right. Did you get all 11 right from the starting lineup?
10.
Oh, who didn't you get right?
Well, I think you should. I still think I'm right, mate. You should have played Nunes instead of Kovacic.
Nah,
Kovacic was nondescript yesterday, I thought.
Yeah, it didn't have to be. Let's be honest, he didn't have to do too much. Hey,
No,
guys, if you're wondering what we're talking about, Manchester City beat Sheffield United yesterday by 2-0, and I was finally there for, it seems, ages since I was last. I think the last game I went to was a Champions League game. It's a long time ago since I went to a game, and yeah, it was.
Did you get the programme?
No, I stopped getting programmes, mate.
Well, I don't understand it. It's got the image on the programme. It hasn't got the World Cup on it. It's got the other four. There's no World Club. I mean, what's the point?
Yeah.
You could just put it on over the top. I mean, even if they'd printed it early, even if they'd sort of done the artwork early,
put a sticker on.
Put it on top.
How many programs do you think they sell?
Not many now these days.
3,000?
How many?
I'm just guessing a few thousand.
Well, yeah. I mean, if they sell 5,000, I don't think they'd sell many more.
I'm going to have a quick check then.
They don't make money from it, I don't think, anymore. I think only like United probably do with the worldwide. But then again, City don't promote it enough worldwide. That's the problem.
Yeah, I can't find any.
Or Reach Sports who do it now, don't they? Reach Sports.
Yeah.
They're a big organisation, but even they do a little bit. They do a little bit of promotion, but there's not that. You think of the worldwide fans, it should be promoted a little bit more worldwide, I think.
You'd think they'd be making some money because they've got all those program sellers. City are a business, mate. They're not a charity. They're a business. They must be making something. I haven't got a program for a little while. I don't know what they are. £4 now, £4?
£4, yeah. Five for the Champions League.
Yeah, see. If you go to FA Cup, £10, isn't it? 10 or 12 quid last time.
So the semi-finals have been a fiver, I think. It's only the finals are 10 or 12 quid, I think.
Yeah, it's expensive business. Hey guys, look, as we said, we kept a clean sheet. We won the game. It was overall pretty comfortable. It's as comfortable as a game, apart from Burnley, I think we've had this season. It's a really easy game.
I was still worried, but that's only because of what's been happening recently. I was still worried, even at 2-0. I was still, even though they were doing, I was still a bit panicky.
I was waiting for us to, I said to you, it's exactly what I said. We'll get 2-0 up, and we'll not bust a goal. We didn't. It was about 30 minutes after the goal and the injury and the added on time. It was just training exercise. We were just passing it around, and I actually thought, I was sat in my seat, I thought we could get the record for the most number of passes in a game.
Yeah.
And I actually think if they'd known about it and they wanted to, we'd have broken the record and would have broken 1,000 completed passes, because there were times where no one was passing the ball. They'd give it to Edison. No one would come to pressure him. And he just stands there for 5 or 10 seconds, and then rolls it out. And it's all slow. If I was Rodri, I'd have just stood with somebody and just tip, 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 tip. Someone comes, turn around, somebody else tap, 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 get 100 passes. And I'll admit, I've got no problem with the stat padding. No problem with that. But it was far, far too easy. Let's look at important points. Were you happy, apart from, I guess you were happy with the lineup apart from Kovacic? Were you worried? Obviously that, okay, we'll balance it. It's a seesaw, we'll balance it. There was no Haaland, not even on the bench, but KDB was on the bench. So, good and bad.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Haaland, and it's quite funny, isn't it? KDB is ready to come back, and them two, Haaland and Doku, are still, we're still waiting, unfortunately. And of course, Grealish just shouldn't have played. Simple as that. I mean, I know he's probably mentally, I don't think he was right for this. I mean, he held the ball well, but every pass he made went to one of their players. They were awful, or they got blocked. They were terrible.
It weren't brilliant. It was a lot of passing back. Yeah. There was twice when he went on the outside and crossed it. Guys near me say, "Well, why do that next time?" because after 30 minutes he does that, and look what you can do. But the problem is, we're not
as a player. He wanted to play, but I mean, you can't tell
No, I understand.
psychologically wise what's going to happen. So I'm not going to quibble over it. But he obviously wasn't, because I said to my lad at half time, I said, just bring Bobb on, take Grealish off, bring Bobb on.
Here's the funny thing: Pep wanted to start with Bobb. He was thinking about starting with Oscar Bobb. Now I have got suspicion that Pep's getting soft in his old age, because he really wanted to start with Oscar Bobb. We needed some dynamism.
Well, this is a game where normally you think if he was confident, if he was positive, he would.
Yeah. So I think he partly played Grealish for romantic reasons, make the guy feel.
He loves Grealish. We all like Grealish. I mean, we all like Grealish, whether he does enough for us or not. As a guy, like Phillips, as a guy, he's wonderful. And Pep does love, he seems to love Grealish, which is fair enough. He's the manager and Grealish is his player.
Let's start off by talking about Bobb then, because he's a new kid. He's not young. Compared to us, mate, he's very, very, very young. But he's 21 years old now, isn't he? Something like that. 20. I do him a disservice. How do you think he played yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, he got over 40 minutes or so, did he? Or something like that with the injury time. I like Bobb. He's got a old head. He's not a young lad anyway. But I think he can do just as, I'm not saying comparing him to Grealish, but he's quite capable of doing what Pep tells him, as in, don't lose the ball, Bobb. That sort of thing. Just make sure if you can't beat a player, you're not confident, just recycle it. And that's what obviously Grealish does. And I think Bobb's intelligent enough to do it. But just look at the goal that he pre-assist for. I mean, absolutely great vision, great pass through. It wasn't easy to pass through Sheffield United. There's that many red and white shirts all around. And yeah, I like Bobb. I think when he came on pre-season in Asia, I thought he looked far more intelligent than perhaps Mahrez. Mahrez was very one-trick pony, but I thought Bobb looked as though he's got potential in that position, or sort of playing that role, same as Hamilton to some extent as well when he did it. But I like Bobb. I think he impresses me. He's not Doku. He's not that style. He's a bit more Mahrez style, a bit more Grealish style, a bit more not as quick, but he can create space for himself. And he's flying under the radar at the moment because other teams don't know too much about him either. But once he gets to play a bit and they learn about him, perhaps he won't be as effective. But I think he's a very intelligent player.
But I think when that happens, actually, he'll get better. So as people learn about him, he will get better as well. So I think that's going to work wonders. Oscar Bobb, I like him. I like him a lot. He's growing on me. You accused about him on pre-season. I wanted to see more because it's pre-season. It's all friendlies. You're right. In my opinion, I agree with you. He keeps that ball. He recycles it, doesn't lose it, but he does it with a bit more purpose than Jack. Jack just slows the game down, pretends he's going to take somebody on, and it just slows the game down too much. Where Oscar Bobb, he gets the ball, he moves it on. The pass to Foden was sublime. It really was. He held it. He watched Foden's run. He saw Foden's movement to say, I want it here. And he put a perfect ball through the eye of a needle. He didn't really take on his defenders, partly because Josko Gvardiol was outside him. Inside. I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe. The thing is, we could spray the ball out to Gvardiol, and he got a lot of passes out wide, and he stayed out wide. It stretched the pitch. But what could he do when he got the ball? He couldn't run. He couldn't beat a man for pace. He couldn't dribble past anybody. He didn't cross it. He just passed it back. So I asked the question, what was the point? What's the point of having Gvardiol out there? I understand Pep wanted to stretch the pitch. We had Walker wide and Gvardiol wide, and we had all the little players in the middle, Bernardo, Alvarez, Foden, Jack, and everybody was inside. So we had it was back to that false nine. Everybody was on the inside moving about. But did you see the point of having Gvardiol out that wide?
Well, we've talked about it, haven't we? If Gvardiol players, I'd rather him play as a centre-back, perhaps doing an Akanji thing where he can roam forward. but we want Aki as left back, and obviously we know Pep at the moment is playing. If them two are playing, Aki's going to be the centre half, and Gvardiol's going to be the guy to carry the ball forward. And that's what Pep wants from him. Now we've seen little glimpses of nice control stuff, but as you said, as far as directness, as far as creating confusion in defences of opponents' teams, I've not seen a lot of that. I've not seen much of it.
Any of that.
As I say, he's got no pace. At least Walker can bomb up and down and stuff. Gvardiol, nice touch. A lot of people are raving over him. A lot of people say what a cracking player he is. But I think he's a cracking player playing as a centre half. I'm not convinced yet. Yeah. I know Pep wants to play him, and he thinks he'd get more out of him at left back. At that position than Aki, because we know Aki's got limitations. He has. He's improved when he's got the opportunity. But I still rather see Aki in that position in Gvardiol. Why not play that Akanji sort of role, the John Stones role, where he plays him as a centre half? If Diaz is playing, Diaz can stay back, and Gvardiol can roll forward a bit more.
The problem is Pep says Gvardiol can't do it. But here's the thing.
Yeah, he has been doing something a little bit similar. I don't understand it.
But here's the thing for me. Okay, Aki is in his late 20s now. What, 28, 29? Must be something of that order. Just have a quick look. He's 28. He'll be 29 in a couple of months' time. 6 weeks. Okay. Send him a card. But Aki is at that age where he's an old dog. You can't teach him new tricks. So I don't think he's going to get much better out wide. Okay. I've seen some great passes from Aki to Haaland. I've seen some great stuff from him. Not much, because I don't think he takes the risks. But I'm cool with that. Gvardiol's 21. So Pep thinks he's got the potential to learn different positions, play out wide. So, and that's why he's consistently playing him at left back and maybe trying to push him down wide, maybe trying to get him to come inside, plays an inverted fullback. So maybe in 2 or 3 years' time, look, I'll give you 2 examples. Rodri, three or 4 years ago, you said, because he was no patch. There's no patch on Fernandinho. Now, we can't do without him. John Stones, who would have thought at 28, he's 29, he's going to find this new role where he can step inside. I always liked John Stones. I always said about John Stones back in the day that when we had Diaz and Stones was the guy who carried the ball out of defence. Diaz was the guy who was there like a rock. Ball comes in the air, he heads it. That was kind of their roles. And so it seems only natural for John to step up into midfield. So maybe Gvardiol's got that capacity, that potential to be able to learn these new roles. So we'll have to just wait and see. Other performances, Rodri was all right. He got the stadium man of the match.
As I say, there wasn't really much of a press from Sheffield, was there? So we had a lot of the pitch to play, which 94% pass accuracy sort of tells you that. We get 90, 91, but we very rarely get 94. But they weren't. They were sitting back, and that Rodri loves that. Rodri can play with that sort of game all day, every day. It's where obviously the teams are pressing in the middle. The Liverpools, the Villa did it so successfully. That's where Rodri struggles, or it doesn't quite look like the world-class midfielder, defensive midfielder we all say he is. But he loved it yesterday. Yeah, it was
easy for him.
It was fine. The goal, a cracking, interesting goal, because it didn't exactly rocket it. It was
no one put under pressure.
I don't know. I'm still not convinced. I watched it a few times back now. I'm still not convinced why the keeper couldn't have done better. I just thought it was a little bit slow, whether his positioning was out. And Rodri hit it early, but he still had plenty of time to set himself to keep.
It was a funny thing because I was behind. I'm at that. Well, you're at that side as well, but I was nice and high up, and I just thought as soon as Rodri hit that was going in. As soon as he hit it, so maybe the goalkeeper was slightly poorly positioned.
I think I was looking at the Guardian timeline. He said he sort of hit it earlier than the keeper expected, but I don't think particularly, because he did carry it a little way, and the keeper should have been on his toes already.
But I think Rodri was in that sort of area of the pitch that he could have hit it into either corner. So he could have side-footed it with a bit of bend into the near post, as well as what he did. So the goal is
the keeper could probably on a hide into nothing, because I thought it was a little bit too much to his left. But as you say, he was covering his left, and it's hard as a keeper. I mean, you know, you're not at the end of the day. You have a feeling where your pulse are, but you can never be 100% right. It's instinct, isn't it? And sometimes the instinct lets you down a little bit.
I want to talk about 2 more players, but I want to ask you first: who was your man of the match?
It was an hard one, really, for me. I mean, defensively, I did a couple. Defensively, I just wanted to mention Aki because I thought it was tremendous.
My man of the
just
match.
said he's I prefer him at left back. But as that last man, he was fantastic. I thought it was excellent. But overall, it had to be between Rodri and Foden. And I come down on the side of Foden in the end, just above, just because he's the one who's making things happen at the moment. Until KDB comes back, he's the only one. There's no one else making things happen. Like Bobb did to some extent a little bit, one good pass. But there's no one else reliable enough to, because against Sheffield United, we needed a little bit of something special, didn't we, again? Because the way they played, just the way they put men behind the ball, and Foden was the one who looked as though he could do it.
It's really interesting that I agreed totally with what you said. We must be getting old in our old age. But I thought Aki was brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. There was once where he was outpaced. You could tell he was not going to get... He wanted to get in front of the attacker, but he was not going to get there. So he just did what you should do. Into row Z, just launched it, and that's it. It's gone. Danger averted. Everything else he did, he was just so comfortable, so calm, so laconic, so casual. But it looked casual, but he was focused, and he didn't put a foot wrong. He was that good. He looks easy. He was that good. Foden, again, like you say, he's impish. He's the only one making it happen. No other attacking player can do what Foden does. He gets the ball on the half turn and he drives. He drives at the opposition. Rodri's goal came from someone fouling. I thought it was a foul on Foden.
I think the ref waved play on. All credit to the referee, which I don't like to do that. But
there was another one where Foden took about 4 men on and got inside the box. I thought it was fouled in the box. But he didn't claim for anything. I watched it back on replay. It didn't look conclusive.
I think the fact he's looking over his shoulder now and seeing KDB there's inspired him a little bit.
Maybe. But look, the kid was the bee's knees.
Well, who else is going to do? Who else is going to do that Foden role in the team at the moment?
Nobody.
There's nobody else. I mean, Kovacic, that's what I'm saying. That's why I want to see Nunes rather than Kovacic. I think Nunes is more capable of spotting gaps and spotting things than Kovacic. Kovacic just blunders into me. He just goes and ends up going down a dead end sometimes. But I just want a little bit more creativity, because we had to break him down, and that's why I really wanted Nunes to start and give him a go rather than Kovacic.
There's an interesting thing I saw on social media where obviously Cole Palmer scored 2 and assisted 1 yesterday. Do you miss him? One word answer.
No. Why would we miss him?
It's gone.
No,
but it was interesting. Someone said
the day, it wasn't going to happen, was it? And all credit to him. He looks. He's doing the business at Chelsea. He's getting the games.
He'd have been dropped at City. He'd have been dropped for losing the ball.
Yeah.
So that's it. But the thing
about it's not what Pep would want from his guy. He loses it. Chelsea are happy with that. That's how they play. They have more men behind the ball, perhaps, to defend. We don't.
He's allowed to take risks at Chelsea, not at City. But it was interesting. Someone said Phil Foden should take a leaf out of Cole Palmer's. Look what Cole Palmer's doing. He's in the England squad, and look, if Phil had left City, he'd have been, he'd taken his game to another level. But the thing that got me with what this guy said, he's not responded to me. Of course, he said Phil Foden's in and out every week. Phil Foden's played 28 out of our 30 games this season. I think he started all but 1 or 2 Premier League games. First game of the season when he came on for KDB. And I think was one when he was ill or something. But apart from that, he started all the games. He's a go-to man now. And I've been begging him, imploring with him, he's not listened so far, to be consistently brilliant. Are we starting to see Phil Foden again being consistently brilliant?
Yeah, again, he's one of these guys that can pick up an injury here and there, but now at that age he is now, it's when your body's sort of settled down a bit, isn't it? So hopefully we're going to see him on a regular basis. He's not going to have any injury problems going, well, apart from something. So always something can happen, can't be a broken leg, God forbid. But
appendicitis. How about him having appendicitis?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, after that, he struggled, didn't he? He struggled for a long time to get back on it, but now he's on it again and he's playing consistently. I don't worry about him like I worry about John Stones playing a game and thinking he's going to get injured. I don't do that with Phil, but of course we knew it, didn't we? With no Gundo and obviously KDB, it was going to be on Phil. The pressure was on. I think the pressure was on him, and he was responding. Now, I'm not saying he responded straight away, but I think he's responding now. And hopefully, you say we weren't fantastic yesterday, but he, again, like he did at Everton, he dragged us into it and dragged us through the game, and that's what we want till KDBs and the Dokus and the Haalands come back.
But here's the thing: that's what Mahrez used to help with. Yeah. That's what Gundogan, and that's what KDB do. And I said last week, it's time for Phil Foden to step up. He's 23, only 23, but he's been here 6 years with the first team. It's him. He's a senior player. It's up to him to drag us through games. And we've seen the last 2 games, he's dragged.
And what's he got to lose? I mean, he's not nothing to prove. He's got nothing, the medals he's got, the trophies he's got. He's got absolutely nothing. For me, there's not a lot of pressure on Phil. He should be loving it. He should be loving the football and just doing it, just doing what he does.
Yeah. Fab result. We kept a clean sheet. That's important. The main thing was the 3 points. United lost. Woo! And we're up there, a couple of points behind the Scousers.
We'll go back 4th today. We'll be a 5th if the other 2 win. But
yeah, it don't matter, mate. Don't matter. I'm not worried about that because we're up there. We're on everybody's heels. We're breathing down everybody's necks, and they're looking over their shoulders at us now. We've gone back to being favourites, and we rightly so. Someone said, without Haaland, we haven't lost any games. But Haaland's to come back, Doku's to come back, Stones to come back, Grealish to be mentally 100%, KDB. We're going to be.
Well, that doesn't work, does it? Just a quick mention it. Grealish and Gvardiol. I'm not happy. That doesn't seem to work to me. No. That's going back to Gvardiol again. But
here's the thing: when Doku's back, Grealish is on the bench.
Yeah.
And if Pep trusts Bobb a bit more, Grealish is on the bench. So when KDB comes back, I think Grealish is going to drop because KDB, Foden now, you can't drop Alvarez, you can't drop Bernardo, and Haaland's back. Those 5 are your men. You find your space.
Yeah, I think Alvarez might still be at risk, even though he's scoring the goals.
In the games that we need pacey wing. But then the toss-ups between Alvarez and Doku, Grealish don't get a look in. So anyway, at least everybody's starting to step up. We'll see. We've got an easy-ish game against Huddersfield next, and then a little break.
Will we see KDB against Huddersfield? As Pep said he will.
Yep. I expect to see a cameo from KDB. Biggest cheer was when KDB was run up and down the touchline. You didn't need to see. I couldn't see. It was that far away. But you could hear the cheer from the crowd.
I thought it was coming on, and lots of the guys, I thought, unless he's changed a lot in complexion and build, those guys aren't KDB.
I thought it was coming on. All right, mate. Thanks so much. City win 2-0 as we roll on back up, putting pressure on everybody else. And we roll on to the Huddersfield game next week. We'll bring you a preview later in the week. See you around, Blues.